Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. Today, I am out here at the range with a Zastava M91. This is their sort of a hybrid between the Dragunov and an AK. It is, really speaking, it's the improved rifle that replaced the M76 when the Serbian army decided to go get rid of 8mm and start using 7.62 by 54 rimmed instead. So these are now available in the US, and I've got this one from Zastava USA to do a little bit of shooting with. We've got 10-round magazines. These are not interchangeable with PSL or Dragunov magazines, which is a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. And in order to try and do reasonably well with this, I have PPU match 7.62 by 54. It's a 182 grain bullet, and it should do reasonably well with the rifle. Let me actually go ahead and load both magazines here. So I have done just a little bit of shooting with this already, basically just enough to get it roughly zeroed. I'm at 100 yards, which isn't exactly like super duper difficult range, but I'm not the world's greatest long range marksman, and I figure we'll at least shoot here while I've got just a basic zero. Let's just see how it does. Now, it has this cheek rest, which I found actually to be more comfortable not to use for me. And I suspect that's at least in part because I'm left-handed. This scope is offset slightly to the left, so I'm kind of rolling my head over the gun a little bit. If you wanted to use this, you just pull it back and you can rotate it up like so. But for me, honestly, kind of prefer it out of the way. All right, let's go ahead and try a group on paper. I'm going to use this to help fix my zero up a little bit too. So I've got a white paper target out there with a paper X right in the middle. All right, that's 10 shots. Let's go take a look at it. That's not bad. Okay, so for a spaz like me at long range, that's not bad. Or I guess this isn't long range, but it's with a precision rifle. So that's actually 2 right there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I would say, and by the way, this is 100 yards. Which would be 91 meters. I've got the elevation cam on the scope set to 1, which should be 100 meters, and elevation-wise, we're pretty darn close. So I'm going to leave that alone. I am going to give it a couple clicks to the right to see if I can bring this group in a little bit. So, tape them and do another group. All right, so this is a POSP 4x24 power scope. It is a Serbian copy of the original Russian scope that was used on the Dragunov, and it's been used on a bunch of precision rifles. It is a 1960s era combat optic, which means it doesn't have quarter-minute clicks. It has clicks that are 1/10 of a meter at 100 meters, which equates to approximately 4 inches per click. So I was about 4 inches off there, so I'm going to give this 1 click to the right. And we'll give that a try with another group. right, let's see how that did. Ooh, that's not nearly so good. I think this gun is hot now. Also, the manual appears to have lied to me about what those clicks do. So we may try we'll try 2 clicks this time and see where that gets me. All right, well, that's not the greatest group ever. In fact, that's a pretty craptacular group. So I'm gonna give the rifle a few minutes to cool down before we try any more. Alrighty, so I have let this cool down now. The barrel is actually now nice and chilled to the touch. I'll go ahead and do one more magazine through it. A couple things I want to comment on. This is, in many ways, I would say this is still a PSL. When Serbia adopted this, I don't think they did a whole lot. They didn't introduce a lot of new stuff into it. They took a proven concept and went with it, building it themselves in their own facility. So the trigger is not particularly great. It's not terrible, but for a precision rifle trigger, like comparing it to what you would expect from a new production rifle today, it's not all that great. The gas system is adjustable, which is pretty cool. It has 3 settings, according to the manual. Number 1 is for basically if it's very hot out, like if your ammunition is going to be generating more gas than normal. So that's the softest shooting setting is number 1. Number 2 is for standard operation, and number 3 is for when the gun is fouled. I've been shooting this entirely today in setting number 3 because the manual also says you should use that for the first 200 rounds fired through the gun. And other than the 10 or so rounds that I put through it to get a little bit of a 0 before I started filming, what you've seen are all the first rounds through the gun. I have had no malfunctions of any kind, which I wouldn't expect malfunctions given that it is brand new and it's a relatively expensive gun. It is relatively comfortable to shoot, a little awkward as a left-hander because you do have to lean over the stock, but it's got a really nice squishy rubber butt pad on it here that is nice. The handguard, not exactly the military configuration handguard, but it's kind of nice that it does have some Picatinny rail on the bottom. It does not come with a bipod. I dropped that on. It does come with the scope. So that out of the way, let's do another group. I did a little bit of adjustment to my 0 here. So hopefully we will be closer to dead on. This trigger isn't heavy, but it is really long. All right, let's see how that did. I am a little bit concerned. I started experimenting with looking for parallax in the optic, in part because I'm not necessarily right behind the optic because, again, I'm left-handed and rolling my head over on this thing. I started trying to hold the rifle perfectly steady and move my head from side to side, and it looked like I could see a pretty significant shift in where the reticle was actually pointing, which might account for some of the group size, because I haven't been paying really close attention to making sure that my head's in exactly the same position every time. At any rate, let's go take a look. All right, that's pretty much the same as last time. I have clearly fixed my windage issue. That's good to see. Elevation could use a little bit of tweaking still, but I'm not overly concerned about that. What I can't tell you, unfortunately, is whether the size of this group is because of me, the scope, or the rifle. Honestly, I have a tendency, my gut feeling is to actually blame the scope. It really felt like there was a wide dispersion, a wide variability of where that reticle actually was pointing when I moved my head around inside the eye box. And that could absolutely be responsible for a grouping like that. So that is something I think we'll have to come out here a second time to do some more testing on, because it's getting a little bit late in the day now. But what I can tell you is the gun ran completely reliably, had no malfunctions of any kind today, which was very nice to see. It is a cool example of basically the civilian production version of a currently serving military precision rifle. This is the successor to the Yugoslav M76 in 8mm. I think it is a worthy successor to that. We'll have a video coming up later where we will actually compare those two head to head, because I have access to an M76. So if you're interested in having one of these for your own collection, whether it's a shooter or a historical item, check out Zastava USA. These are produced in Serbia at the Zastava plant and then imported over here to the US, which is, by the way, why they don't have the original muzzle brake on them, US import law. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.